Yo! Video games.
All right, we did it. Woo! We survived long enough to see Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
In theaters. I don't think it's on Disney Plus or nothing.
No, it's definitely not. This is one of those in theaters
It's
only.
like, theater only experience.
Sort of experiences, and we're back.
Yeah, you get your popcorn, your soda.
We did. I'm drinking a soda.
Your Omicron.
I'm drinking a soda, and I'm probably not going to finish it. This thing is tiny.
I told him not to do that.
It's just a regular size soda. Max is
not even
big.
regular. This
Max
is
is
small.
big. No, you're just big.
I'm just a giant. This little soda is a full can.
Yes, that's how big Max is.
So we did it. We saw Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Good. Holy shit. When did Doctor Strange 1 come out? 2016?
I don't remember.
Yeah. It's been over 5 years.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And that character has been sprinkled throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe quite a bit.
In the... I don't know. He was in Infinity War.
Yeah.
I know that.
He was in Spider-Man.
Here's the thing, and we talked about this.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man.
Shit starts to blur a little bit after a while.
It sort of does.
The Black Widows and the Ant-Mans, and you're just kind of like, something happened.
I can't help but say it because I really liked one of these movies, but I forgot that I saw Black Widow in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I forgot that I saw
a bit of
movies.
Shang-Chi vibes a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, but and I remember I liked that movie. It was good. But things have been sort of the last couple episodes of Moon Knight have been out and I just haven't really found the time to watch them at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But if there's one thing that we can all immediately say about Doctor Strange 2 is that you're going to remember Doctor Strange 2 for either the better or the worse.
Yes.
You're not going to forget this movie because it's definitely fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
There is some there was no spoilers obviously, but this is definitely a Marvel movie that has an identity, right? This one's the weird one. And I think that's kind of good.
They had weird visual images. I remember Mads Mikkelsen walking around mirrored buildings and upside down buildings in the first movie.
Sure.
I kind of remember that. They did some trippy visual stuff.
Yeah.
But this one is obviously they just lean further into it.
Yeah.
Definitely more to the trippy stuff.
If anything, Doctor Strange felt like he's like Inception, the Marvel superheroes. Right? It's like taking Inception one level deeper.
Yeah.
Of what the hell can your mind fathom?
Yeah.
And this one is just we're gonna stick you directly up Sam Raimi's asshole.
Oh no. It was
and you're gonna take a 2-hour residence there.
Yeah, it was a Sam Raimi movie.
It certainly fucking was, dude.
It was Sam Raimi and he's like, hey, we like your movies, but can you Marvel-fy it a little bit? And he's like, okay.
He's like, all right. For 1/3 of it.
Yeah.
For 1/3 of it, it's going to be interchangeable with any other Marvel movie.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
And then shit gets weird.
I felt like it kind of starts mostly Marvel-ish. Mostly like a Marvel movie. Mostly just because of setting. And then it just kind of delves further and further. And by the end of the movie, you're right in his colon.
Oh, yeah. You're all up in it.
You're all up in it.
You're directly injected into his headspace and you're traveling throughout his innards. That crazy 80s movie where the dude's piloting a robot. What the hell is it called? The little dude that gets injected into somebody's body.
Oh my god, yeah,
that's what I feel. That's what I felt like in this film inside Sam Raimi. Anyway, yes. There's already a lot of tells of his filmmaking style all over the place. In the beginning of the film where I was like, yeah, this definitely has some feelings here and there, right? And it feels like Sam has such an identifiable style that this interaction, the way the first bad guy even shows up, is just wow, this is just a Spider-Man, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
This is really just here's the hero, dun 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 dun, type of shit. I'm like, damn, yeah, this is Sam's fucking style.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's a very. And there was another thing too at the beginning where I was kind of like, we really stealing this plot point from another Sam Raimi film? Well,
oh, Jesus! It's just Spider-Man again. Yeah, it's man, he just loves that. Where he's we're just gonna. They don't hammer it in so hard.
No, it's not.
Right.
You feel so bad for fucking
poor
Peter.
Oh my god, yes.
They do that a little bit, and that's Sam's.
They almost pull away from it.
Yeah, we're doing that here.
Yeah, they kind of do it because they want to no matter where you go, Mr. Strange will always be sad.
And I was almost sitting there did they pull him into this because they knew this was coming up, or was it did he come when he replaced the director? Was it like I wanted to have this moment again?
Yeah.
Who knows? But
it could be.
But I don't know if I don't even know if I call it a nod, but there's definitely there's some similar talking points early on in this movie with some of Sam Raimi's earlier comic work in Spider-Man that you might catch and be like, oh yeah, we're doing this again.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way, right? Like, especially with like love interest stuff.
Yeah,
that's like really where, because they carry that over from Doctor Strange 1, which is a thing that I mostly forgot, and I had to be reminded of as watching this movie because it was so long ago.
Sam Raimi must have got his heart broke.
Hard. Yeah, he's going to inject that. Yeah. Tim Burton injected himself into all those 80s and 90s movies, and Sam Raimi got his heart broken hard, and that permeates in all of his films, man.
Yep. All the heroes are me getting their hearts broken and being sad.
And having all this amazing power and money and like wealth and responsibility, but
being sad.
Can never be happy. It's funny, it's like that's the theme of the movie. Like, are you happy? Like,
yes, it is. Yeah, it's either that, we either get this or we get... he goes out in the desert and builds a giant vagina in the sand that has teeth.
Yes.
Because George Lucas definitely had his heart broken.
That's true.
George Lucas definitely went through some rough marriages.
That metaphor.
And then Return of the Jedi came out and you're kind of like, And I say this only because I was at an actual WonderCon with Billy D. Williams.
Uh-huh.
And they had a little video from Irvin Kershner, the directors. And he's like, I remember, man, when we were filming Jedi, we got out there and I saw the Sarlacc pit and I just went, oh, George.
Oh, George. Oh, George.
He's just coming off a bad divorce.
Wow.
He's like, oh, George.
Yikes.
I was laughing my ass off in the back of that room.
So I'm trying to think of what else we can cover just in terms of like overall feelings of the movie before we really get into like, because there's, I think the villain of the movie is technically a spoiler. I think a lot of the events that happen when he goes to multiverses, it's just a multiverse movie, so that's not a spoiler.
Not a spoiler, but he's
like, I think what happens in all these crazy things is like really descript and specific, and if we delve into any of that, it is just going to start reaching into our spoiler part of the review.
I'll say this, though. If you're taking your parents or someone's super casual or
if you've never seen,
this is like a date who's like very surface level.
Yeah,
this is not a great anyone can watch this movie.
No, like the dad that was sitting next to me, this motherfucker kept falling asleep, bro. This guy,
it's not
a boring movie. It's loud, and this guy at the drop of, I wish I had his power, bro.
Bro, his brain checked out probably from all the visuals. Just
maybe. This dude every 5 minutes snore, and I'm like,
this is a very pulpy,
and it's not because it's a boring movie.
No,
it's definitely
it's like I said, it's a very pulpy sci-fi horror.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's very wacky.
Yeah,
it's very wacky. Like it leans hard into what it's doing.
It doesn't take itself super seriously either. But that's the thing. Like a lot of Marvel movies have that moment of it is serious type of thing of these relationships are important, that kind of thing. I think the best example is Civil War, where they actually route the Civil War of the characters up with a pretty great plot point, which is the fact that Tony's parents were killed by fucking Cap's best friend type of shit. And it's like, oh wow, that's really damn, what a what a great thing to bring it together.
You can take your dad to go see Captain America.
Sure.
And he'll be like, hey, Tommy Lee, World War II, I know what that is.
Sure.
Winter Soldier, they'll be like, I remember Robert Redford, I fucked your mom watching one of his movies in the 70s.
But
so it's they can see those movies. And you come to this movie and it's like, they're going to be like, I can't follow 5
what the
minutes.
Fuck is, this movie seems crazy. But here's the thing, I agree with you, but I feel like that also falls suit with even Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
Endgame is wait, we're going back in time type of shit? What? If you just really had no perspective, granted, everybody had perspective, everybody saw the original one, but asking someone just to jump into that movie and be like, here, just enjoy this, it's going to be
I think people are going to be it'll be a little hard to follow for the super surface level casual thing.
Sure.
And this is worse than
way worse.
That where it's are you okay with this multiple reality theories, string theory stuff, and just mystic arts, and stuff like that. Are you okay with all that?
Black magic, good magic.
Yeah, sorcery versus witchcraft. Like, are you...
Well, that's what Disney was afraid of for a long time.
They really were, yeah.
They were afraid of that. None of the films had any of that.
Yeah. This definitely bucks the trend of, like, let's not have any magic. Thor is all technology.
Really? Is really Thor technology?
I remember like what you call magic, we call technology.
Or science,
or whatever.
I watched 20 minutes of Thor, none of Thor 2, and all of Thor 3.
Yeah, I've still not seen Thor 1 or 2 in full.
Yeah, I saw Thor 3 and enjoyed the shit out of Thor 3.
Yeah, Thor 3 is fantastic.
I'm, like, not gonna...
Oh, yeah. And it's funny, you don't really need to watch the other ones for, like, because that's where they got the great director for it.
Yeah. Well, they eventually found an identity for it. And here's the thing, it's like, and I have to ask you guys this. This is way different, I feel, than Doctor Strange, like 1 even, and even the Doctor Strange that we know. Where this one, this is like the literal like portal to the weird and fucking wacky 70s, early 80s Marvel shit. Where they were like either out of ideas and just like high on some crazy shit. They're like, we need to get out there, man. We really need to get our ass out there. And this movie is like that, 100%.
Yeah, this feels like there's a little bit of that feeling like, okay, these movies have been going on a while. We need to start.
We need to do something different.
We need to start really pushing, pushing past what we've done.
Oh yeah,
we gotta get out of our safe space of it's New York, or it's this random West Coast city, and then there's a bad guy, and he's going to have
and there's a giant space laser.
He's going to have a big laser that goes up into the sky, and we got to stop that. So this definitely feels a bit more like, okay, like if you haven't been following Marvel movies, this might be a little tough. I don't think it's impossible. I just think it's a little. You might be a little bit like, how did we get here?
Yeah, yeah. You almost feel that when you're watching the movie, like from the conclusion of certain plot points to other plot points, you're like, damn, where the fuck are we now? Like, this is crazy.
I think What If is a good primer for getting into your head.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm not saying it's like you should watch this because it totally connects. I'm just saying for your headspace of like, hey, what is it like? Try watching What If to get an idea of what it's like.
Yes,
what it's like to have like different takes on things, or just really out there concepts. Yeah, because they have like a zombies episode in What If, so it's kind of like try to like put your brain in that space of like some really wild shit. The
wild shit that Marvel has come up with over the years.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
This is not it's not an Earth based we gotta save New York kind of situation. This
for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely like. We're into issue 300 now.
Yeah. That's a great point. We're 10 plus years into this shit, and we're at issue like 298.
Right? You're gonna have to do it, right? Because like you said, how many times you're gonna have the generic bad guy, and you're gonna have to have some different stakes this time around. And so that's why I like they included magic and stuff like that.
So my question to you guys is: do you prefer what they sort of pitch in Doctor Strange 1, which is like we said this many times before, that it's essentially like another Iron Man story.
Yeah, it's Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
it's Iron Man, but he's a doctor.
Yeah,
right. And with magic.
Yeah.
Or do you prefer this style, which is like the truly wacky and crazy? Like, I mean, I hate to mention this, but like your third eye opening type shit. Mm-hmm. Do you think this is a better direction going forward, or do they keep him like relatively? Because most of Doctor Strange and his appearances and other Marvel things leading up to this point have been like really in check with each other. Yeah. Right? Like his appearances sort of line up directly with who Doctor Strange is at the end of the movie. And he is just essentially like another Tony Stark kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think this film does a ton with Doctor Strange as a not a ton with his character. It's more like the circumstance that's happening around him that he has responsibility for. But it's pretty clear that like where Steven goes and what Steven do in this film and what he chooses to do is just like, fuck, this feels out there in comparison to other Marvel films, which feel like this makes other Marvel movies feel grounded.
Yeah.
I prefer this wackiness, but I also think this is easier to screw up.
Oh yeah.
And I know, and here's the thing. We're not spoiling anything, but I don't think they screwed it up. I think I enjoyed this movie. I had a good time.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. I would recommend go see it.
I think I ended up liking it. If we're getting to like our personal thoughts, I liked it more than the original Doctor Strange.
Yeah, definitely. But I do think when you dive into this really out there convoluted stuff, definitely easy to screw it up.
Yeah.
Super easy to screw it up, but I mean, fortune favors the bold, I guess. Kind of what I'm getting at here, too. Because, like, when we got to, like, Avengers 2, we were kind of like, it's not Thanos. We're just waiting for Thanos.
Yeah.
Because they teased Thanos at the end of Avengers 1, and then Avengers 2 is Ultron. Ultron is cool, but, like, we're saving some vague Eastern European country from picking it up and throwing it down on top of each other, right? Like, okay, it's good stuff, it's fine, but like you were kind of like, when are we getting to it? When are we getting to Thanos? When are we getting to, when we getting to the Mad Titan? When are we getting to like all the crazy?
It felt like it took forever.
All the crazy intergalactic shit he had done and caused.
And this movie is it. Like this movie is like in the same way that, like you said, fortune favors the bold. They did that with Guardians of the Galaxy, and it worked out great.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And now they essentially injected Guardians of the Galaxy isms into Thor. It worked out great.
Yeah.
Right. And now this is the approach of like, and that's the thing is that like Guardians and Thor Ragnarok and those movies feel different than a lot of the other things happening in New York. Something happening in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like sort of Marvel-isms, right? So. I think this is good. I personally, I'm kind of, because obviously there's going to be more, very curious where the hell they're going to take this in the future. Because if this means like we get the crazy, wacky Marvel movie, I hope it's successful and I hope people like it. I hope it's like
it looks like it's tracking well. It's definitely going to be weirdly, it's going to be interesting and weird to see how it's interpreted.
But, and it's a spoiler, there are some things in here that I think people will immediately be turned off from. Of where certain characters go. Certain characters that are very well known. Kenny, what do you feel overall between like old Strange versus new Strange?
I like the new Strange. Like I said, we've had those kind of stories now, and now it's kind of cool to have wacky, wild stuff going on in the universe. And, there's a lot of crazy stories like that. Like you said, like 300 issues deep, but some of that stuff is super cool. And eventually, you're going to have to come up with some crazy stuff for them to like, okay, like you said, guy with laser, that's been done. But what I like about this movie is like, this is a movie for Doctor Strange. This is a movie like where like, oh, Spider-Man's going to help or, or Captain Falcon's going to like, no, those guys.
No, definitely not
those
here.
guys would have nothing to do here. Yeah. And they'd be like, well, this is a you problem. See you later.
Yeah, it's almost like it literally is like Doctor Strange is in his own universe.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it feels like. Like what he's dealing with is so crazy in the grand scheme of things. What he's actually... And that does make sense because like Doctor Strange has like perspective completely different than the rest of like the roster.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, because he literally understands what's going on in multiple universes. Everyone's considering just their universe, right?
Yeah.
So it is... This is the character to do it, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's good to identify that they chose to make this like the jumping point for something genuinely different.
I think the only thing that could potentially be a sort of like a pitfall for, say, a third movie or beyond is that the rules of what he can and can't do are really weirdly defined.
It's a comic, man.
I'm not clear on... It's like it's not clear on the boundaries or the limits of his magical abilities, and I guess we'll get into that'll be a little bit more of a spoiler talk.
Sure,
but I'll get into like what I'm talking about a little more example wise there, where like kind of feels like they there's a little bit of like they're kind of making it up as they go in the writers' room.
It's been like that in the comic books too.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not saying
that
I'm not saying the comics were some like sacred texts that were like very well defined, but I think. I could see a potential issue eventually by having harsh what are the limits? What are the boundaries of his abilities?
For the sake of like whataboutism and argument, like why in the Spider-Man movies didn't Doctor Strange just make Captain Dickface Mysterio? Why didn't he just make him be forgotten? Like, the entire plot is gone.
Well, there's that because that's like, well, he does this spell for that, but we could have done the same spell otherwise. I mean, I'm talking more kind of like it's not really spoiled, but there's like a line in the movie where it's like, you couldn't have teleported me here, a little further up you know, to the area we're going.
Sure.
You know, and it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, that gets explained, but I mean, there are points where kind of like, what can and can't he do? I'm like he can fly sometimes, then he can't sometimes. Is a good example. Like, there's a part early on in the movie where he goes up to talk to someone and he just flies up there.
Sure.
And then there's other parts of the movie where he is just falling. And, like, or he has to, like, jump down on the thing, or, like, you know, he has to, like, physically, like, nail these landings and stuff. So
that's his cape.
Yeah,
isn't that his cape?
So you think the cape?
It's the cape.
And cape is what makes him fly.
Yeah.
Not him. Well, and that makes sense. Yeah. I'm just kind of like throwing.
He does not have his cape in those.
Right.
Scenes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because it's like spitballing here, kind of like okay, can the magic? What can and can't the magic do? And they kind of like keep. There's this book and this sacred text and this ancient script here and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Like it gets a little. There's a little bit of like right now it's fine. Everything's good. Everything makes sense. There's nothing weird in this movie or in the last movie. But I could definitely see as they keep going further into this deep end of the...
Eventually writing themselves into a corner.
Right, of the mystic arts of like... what can he can't do at this point?
Sure.
I think that's why I say it's easy. It's easy to screw this up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but I kind of would rather... Let's do it anyways.
Yeah.
There's a point where we should have stopped, but like, let's keep going.
Because it's clear that they're not going to be done, right? It's clear that Strange is kind of on his own journey at this point, which makes it like genuinely sort of interesting, right? The vast scape of as Marvel is figuring out its essential roster going forward for like their new teams and type stuff. But I think it's definitely worth going to go see, right?
Yeah.
I think if you like Doctor Strange 1, much less you're an MCU fan, this is like
I think
100% you should see it.
It's also a good spectacle movie.
It is. Yes.
It's not like
it's a movie ass fucking movie, man.
It's not like it's not, you know, Black Widow came out on streaming and it's like you watch it and you're like, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Not seeing that in the theater. Like you missed nothing.
You missed nothing.
Seeing that at home. But Doctor Strange is like, well, that's a pretty trippy movie. That would actually, you know, that's probably something you want to see on a big screen if you can do it and you're comfortable.
I'm gonna say it was a good multiverse movie, but so far the best multiverse movie I've seen was Everything Everywhere.
Oh yeah, that recently came out.
Yeah, which are both deal with multiverses.
Yeah, it's crazy that there's been three big multiverse movies in the past like 4 months because there was Spider-Man, and that and this.
Yeah, and I think the A24 guys from everywhere is like we just want to make our own. You know, I don't think Marvel's going to go with this, so they just made their own.
They did a shot
without a big Marvel spectacle. It's fucking amazing.
Without our spoiler elements, it's worth a shot. Go see it. It's definitely the weirdest of Marvel's ventures.
Get some popcorn.
It's weird.
Get some popcorn, man. Sit down.
I appreciate that for the weirdness.
And I appreciate it. Yeah,
yeah, because it's like it's a little bit of everything. Some action, it's some horror, and it's not crazy horror, but it's like it's got a little bit of everything.
It's got some pretty.
Yeah,
I will say this.
It's spoiler time. Here, we're just going to spoil it up.
Well, I mean, I'll just say like, hey, if you have little kids and you're like,
this might not be the best movie.
Yeah, can my 5-year-old handle this?
No. Well, as a father, no. I wouldn't. I would scare the shit out of him. I would definitely not.
Like Spider-Man, PG-13, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
like, you know,
that was another thing
Doctor
too.
Strange, no. This is not. This really pushes
danced on the line of rated R.
Oh, that's what we talked about. Yeah. There was a specific.
Literally, it was on the fucking line.
There's a lot of gruesome shit in this movie.
Yeah, that was
to the point where I was like, oh, like I had a couple of reactions like, oh, god, like a couple of like visceral, like god damn, like sort of reactions. And it hovered on the fact that we were talking about this movie could have been rated R in some with a couple of cuts. It could have been R.
Oh yeah.
And then I remembered a specific moment where Strange literally is about to pass out and call a character a son of a bitch, and they specifically cut out the word bitch. There's no cursing in the movie like at all.
He says shit like once or twice.
Yeah, like maybe like a very like it's almost I didn't even hear it right, but this bitch line was very obvious because they just he says it. But nothing comes out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I wonder if that was the line. I wonder if that was the line to the R rating, where it's like you have so many curses and so much of this like violence.
Hey, remove this and
just remove that, get rid of this, and you're good, right? And they just fix it in ADR, and they're like, okay, we still got our PG-13, right? Because it is fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Characters get like decapitated. Human characters get decapitated. There's a lot of death.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
and you
death.
see it. You
and
see it. You know, it's not like the thing where he's like cuts away and I was like, oh, yeah.
A very like upstanding Marvel character that a lot of people I think love gets literally sliced in half and there's a shit ton of blood.
Yeah.
Like and also we're in spoiler territory. Also, the thing that I was mentioning that a lot of people will be on the fence about is the villain, because there was already a pretty gauged reaction from a lot of folks back in WandaVision.
Yeah.
But they didn't like the fact that like some parents of kids didn't like the fact that Wanda seemed like a bad guy throughout a lot of that show.
Oh.
They didn't like that because she's like Wanda's like their favorite character type stuff throughout Avengers and all that kind of stuff, right? So Wanda was already this character that was like hovering on like, is she a good guy or a bad guy? And at the end of WandaVision, it's clear that she has good intentions, right? It's like she's not a bad guy. She's a fucking murderous psychopath in this movie. She is. She's legit. She is the Scarlet Witch, and she is going to fucking kill you to get her kids back. Like,
and she anyone else.
They turn her literally into like Resident Evil Nemesis type of shit, where she is slowly lungering around and killing everything in her path type shit. I'm like, God damn! Like, I thought they were gonna like maybe I thought WandaVision was going to be like her and Strange are going to team up, but that's like the big reveal of the movie. That she's the bad guy. Like hardcore the bad guy.
Yeah. Which
kill you and kids. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It did feel like they were kind of ripping off Spider-Verse a bit with the multi-dimensional thing where she's like, I'm going to go to my dimension and find my family.
Oh, you mean with Kingpin?
With Kingpin. So a little bit was very, very similar there.
And I think that was kind of weak. Like, they should have made it like, oh, the book is possessing you to do that so you can get the power and rule the universe.
Yeah, but they already say that is the case.
Yeah, they kind of saying like, yeah, but she's like, I just want to go and get my kids. Like, I don't know. They would have been like...
I like how
there could have been something where she could have realized, like, yeah, this is fucked up. But then, like, the book, like, you know, like, no, you have to do this or something like that.
They do keep it very much like it's her.
Yeah, it's her.
It's her decision.
Yeah. The grief that she's gone through has led her to...
Yeah. To me, I think it was a little weak. I'm like, damn, you're willing to do all this shit?
They turned her into a bad guy.
Yeah, you're fucked up.
Wanda, Scarlet Witch, she has become a bad guy.
Yeah, I'm like, you're fucked up.
Yeah, and it is. And it's... To me, it's kind of like... Damn, they went that way. Like, fuck, that's what makes this movie, like, weird and crazy, is that, like, they took an Avenger and made her a murderous psychopath.
Yeah.
Like, they went that way. And here's the thing, did I feel like it was really outside the realm of that character? Not really. Like, I feels like because the thing, WandaVision sets her up to be, like, you know, sort of like a hero character, because you don't know throughout WandaVision. Like, a lot of WandaVision, you're figuring that out.
Here's my question. Maybe WandaVision has a better answer for it. They don't mention ever, not even by name, Vision. And I thought that was weird.
Well...
None of the alternate universes, nothing. Like, Vision is just not part of the equation at all.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd.
Yeah, they definitely make this one focused around her kids. And I was thinking the same thing, because Vision is obviously a big part of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Like, he's supposed to be the husband or something. Like, they never even mention anything about... Because I kept waiting... I kept waiting for the point where Strange was going to... What would Vision think of this? You know, this is not what Vision would have wanted.
Sure. Yeah.
He never says that. He says a lot of other good things.
That is all of WandaVision, though. Yeah. That element is the finality of WandaVision.
Yeah, it's not what Vision...
Because it's the whole show is about Vision not knowing what the hell's happening to him and what he is.
Right.
And then coming to the discovery and then essentially forcing Wanda to let him go. Right. And that was...
I get that, but it seems like she definitely didn't let the whole fucking family thing go. Because she's still living in, like, this really weirdly... Like, dreaming of this idyllic, Pleasantville life.
Her Pleasantville life.
Her and her boys. I'm like, but Vision's not part of that.
Yeah, Wanda, and that's kind of like, once again, kind of an interesting take that Wanda does not have her happy ending.
No.
She doesn't. Like, the grief that she goes through with the power that she has, she uses it for absolute like greedy reasons.
Oh yeah, it wasn't
And-
a
she
1,000%
just
greedy.
she
It
goes
was
she
just
just becomes completely selfish in a way.
Yes.
yeah.
But I don't know. It was just maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it isn't.
It isn't. Yeah. I mean, they essentially make a focus about the kids.
Yeah, I just
the
kinda,
focus of the show was Vision. For the most part.
and I was just kind of like, it's weird that they don't even mention him by name. Like he just doesn't get a name drop there. But I really do like that she's a villain only because she just wants a fucking family.
Yes.
Like she's not trying to enslave the world. She's not trying to blow up the world. She's not even trying to blow up the multiverse. She's just like, look, I've tried to be like she says at the beginning. I'm trying to be reasonable. Just get out of my way.
Yeah.
I just want to go. I just want to go be a family mom.
Yeah.
You know, that's all she wants. So I kind of like the fact that it's not like some weird grand evil scheme. It's just that like she's basically like devolved so
Psycho
hard
mom.
into this.
Who was never
into
even a mom in the
this-
first place.
This basically madness.
And they
Multiverse of madness.
already covered that quite a bit in WandaVision.
So do you feel like it's maybe like a little redundant or
No, it feels like the culmination, right? It definitely felt like they were leading in a direction where Wanda and potentially Strange could have been like teammates.
Yes.
And that's the impression a lot of this stuff gave us.
Yeah.
But goddamn, no, they stripped that away real fast in the movie.
yeah. Real
yeah,
quick.
and I kind of like, but anyways, I like that aspect of it. It's just like no, it's just Wanda is just she's
I don't
going
know.
mad from this obsession. The obsession is basically
Yes.
It's not even really the book; it's the obsession
Yes.
that's driving her mad. And I actually like that because that actually reminds me a lot of the first Nier game. Which is whether you play the brother or father. It's just you have the whole game is this obsession with getting your daughter back, and then what does it cost you? You end up killing everyone on the planet.
Oh.
Spoilers there, but it's like everyone like you basically cause like all the remaining human souls to die because you were so obsessed. Your friends died, helping you along the way, they die. Like it's like this sort of like just. This, but you're the main character going basically diving into this rabbit hole.
Sounds like a Nier game, all right.
But I like that. I like the idea that like Wanda's this villain because she's obsessed with not even a bad thing, just being a mother, and she can't let it go to the point that's like she's just going to murder everyone in the way
Until she's directly confronted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I was hoping to do more of the book. I'm like, dude, you're a psychopath.
Did you really want Wanda to still be a good guy?
Not like it's not because I want her to be a good guy. It's just like you're just extreme, lady. You're like legit. Like maybe make it the book. Maybe I would rather have it be like she breaks free of the book or something like that. Instead of
at the end of it all, I was like,
I don't know, like because in that first act she murders so many fucking people.
Yes.
Yeah.
At Doctor Strange torches, I'm like, there's no redemption arc here. There's no redemption.
It's called
arc.
Star Wars. You blow up planets and just at the end like I'm good now, and then you get to become a Force ghost.
But he died.
You know,
Yeah.
in Star Wars, you know.
oh, you mean Darth Vader?
Yeah, Darth Vader. Everyone, you're like, oh, he blew up a planet, bro. He went along with this. Like, he should be a nice Force ghost.
Who let him through the pearly gates?
Yeah, he should be in hell, bro.
Yeah, he really should have.
Yeah,
but we're
at the end, he's like, all right, son. It's like, Dad. You were part of a regime that blew up planets, bro.
Kid, you were only a good guy for a very small period of your life.
most of your life you were evil.
An evil shithead.
Yeah.
Until the end.
No, but that's the whole, like you think, like...
And I know, and spoilers, like, it's very much inferred that she destroys the thing that was, had control over her. She destroys the thing that has, like, all the power, the Darkhold, and every single... because she's so fucking... Scarlet Witch is just too goddamn powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Right? She destroys it in every single multiverse. But I really liked that element of it, that it's like the Scarlet Witch is this evil, psychotic mom that is doing anything for her kids and killing anything in her way, and even going through dimensions can't escape her ass.
Yeah.
Like she's coming. She's coming. She's coming for us, and like there's blood on her face, and she's still walking forward.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Carrie
this is pretty cool, dude. Like,
and when she comes to that, like
yeah, they really do. There's a witch, like
oh goddamn,
reflections and shit. I'm like, goddamn, this is like I can imagine some kids going like, ah. what the fuck? Like, gets to some like Ringu territory type shit. I'm like, this is cool, dude.
Yeah, but that's what I was referring to earlier, where I'm kind of like, what are the extent? Because he does that cool little like mirror gear trick where she steps inside the place.
Yeah, it's like sort of like a reflection.
Well, remember, he traps people in the mirror universe. Got Spider-Man in there.
But she like doesn't like she's lost in it for a second. She has to like find a reflection point to get out of it. I'm like, what is the extent of Strange's powers? Like that's where I was kind of like.
Well, it's like asking what's the extent of Iron Man?
Because she's basically God at this point. But then he literally puts her in a mirror, a mirror maze. And she can't get out of it for...
You have to think of like Doctor Strange is essentially like magic guy with limitations.
Yeah.
But it's like Scarlet Witch is magic girl with no limitations.
Yeah. It was one of those points where I'm like, I guess like even early in the film, I was kind of like, why is this holding her? Yeah. How is this doing any decent job of holding her? Yeah. It was just kind of like I'm like, what is like? So wait, Strange can do some crazy shit.
And I think he even knew it's like this will buy us some time because when he did that one thing with Guns Water, it's like this will just give us like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like I just bought some time.
Yeah, I think literally that's what he knows. Like eventually some sorcerer being will know how to get out of this shit. One thing though, I will say like I was hoping for more multiversing in this movie.
Yeah, they only really visit a couple of multiverses technically.
It feels like one
through them.
Yeah,
they go to the one that is two multiverses combining together.
Yeah, the
Evil
Incursion, which is
the Incursion.
Yeah, which is a house,
and then they go to like Futureville.
Yeah. They go like it's basically like alternate happy nature, New York, but like nature is like part of it.
It's New York where comic book heroes say enough government, we are the leaders of the world. Fucking government is dumb and corrupt and about money. We're just gonna rule it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Illuminati were in the comics, and I don't know, for me, Multiverse of Madness, I saw that first trailer. I was like, okay, watch the trailer. Okay, I watched it. And of course, you see, you hear Professor Xavier. Yeah. So I was hoping, I was hoping that this place that they went to was in between multiverses. Like, we're from each, we're from in each universe.
They were from different multiverses.
Yeah, and we're the Illuminati, and we know.
They're just in their own.
That was just me.
It's like the universe that they visit is aware of multiverses, and they are trying their best to like just protect their own.
Yeah, just like get the fuck. Yeah,
because after Doctor Strange, like they sort of reveal the fact that Stephen Strange is like the multiverse fucker.
Yeah,
and in every multiverse he's a fucker. Yeah. So eventually, no matter his intentions, he's always gonna fuck shit up, in some way. So they try to just keep things in check, and they're like aware of the multiverse-isms. But yes, like the tuning fork man, whatever the fuck his name is, Black Bolt. You got other Captain Marvel, Professor X. There's Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and who was the last one?
There was a Captain.
And there was the
Captain Ukraine. UK.
No,
we got her. It was the other one. It was
Captain
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
No, Peggy Carter, the other girl.
No, that was
the Star Power girl.
That was
Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Other Captain Marvel.
Okay. Okay, that's what I thought.
Her best friend
Captain Peggy and the Captain Marvel.
It was like her best friend from Captain Marvel became Captain Marvel rather than Captain Marvel we got.
Yeah, and the craziest, one of the craziest things that I still am fucking blown away by is that when Professor X walks on screen, and he's just a Professor X, right? There's like tried and true. And I was telling Simmons this afterwards because Professor X comes out. And you hear the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, the fuck? Like, immediately I was just like, what the? Yeah. There's like a musical nod to the 97 X-Men cartoon, which has never existed in any of the movies, right? Yeah. They don't use that X-Men.
They never use that cartoon.
Said, like, I wish they kept that a secret. Like, in the trailer, maybe I would rather have them show off the Fantastic Four guy.
Yeah.
Then have
Professor X should have been kept.
Should have been the big 100%. Secret.
Yeah.
And then when he comes out here, oh fucking shit!
And I said to Simmons, like, what if this universe is like the future of the X-Men cartoon show?
It's 100% is.
It might actually be.
No, because
he's in
this fucking yellow hover chair. Yeah. It's different than the movies.
And they formed the Illuminati. Like those characters almost. All of them except for Peggy Carter. Captain America was never in the Illuminati.
Yeah.
It was like Black Bolt and just Iron Man, and they were pretty much all of them were in the Illuminati, with the exception.
And then
that was almost like the comic book universe right there.
And then it was a great nod, right? We were thinking it was all this multiverse stuff is going to eventually lead to X-Men, and it might, but it doesn't really seem like it at the end of this movie.
Man, I would have liked, they all fought. I'm like, dude, Wolverine at least to come in and help or some shit like that.
I agree with you a little bit where it's like they don't do a lot of multiverse hopping in this movie. They have like a montage.
Yeah, montage.
But like they go to one other universe and then they go to a universe that's basically gone. It's just the house left, and that's kind of it.
I was
like 2.5.
Because that was my imagination, but I would have been like fighting, like they fall into another universe and there's a new universe, and I'm like, damn,
that's what I wanted. Yeah, the montage of them falling into literally like they fall into a universe that looks like What If.
Yeah,
like that's one.
Yeah,
of them,
they go to like a cell shaded universe.
They go to a cell shaded universe, and one of them made of paint and all this crazy. They don't like drop in a universe where like the X-Men are just roaming around.
Oh yeah, see that's
they don't get that. I feel like the universe that you see with like a Fantastic Four thing and Professor X and Peggy Carter, that is their. This is the most shit like Ultron robots just roaming around and shit. Yeah. Like that's the most we're gonna do for our crazy like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy.
It's all just that one. Yes. That one universe.
And then they all get horribly fucking murdered by the Scarlet Witch.
Christ.
Like ripped. Professor X dies horribly again.
Yes.
And Peggy Carter gets cut in fucking half.
Black Bolt's like, what mouth? And he's like,
Black Bolt gets his mouth removed Matrix style and then screams and his head explodes.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I saw all of it.
Yes.
Like, it didn't even shy and cut away from it. I was like, holy fuck, dude. And then Captain Marvel gets squished to death. Like, everybody. Reed Richards gets turned into fucking spaghetti.
Yeah.
He gets turned into actual, like, confetti spaghetti.
And then pops.
Yeah. His head explodes. I was like, fuck, dude, this shit is crazy.
Like, fuck that.
You know what? Like, this is our throwaway universe.
Yeah.
Have fun, man. Like, god damn, this is nuts.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's their throwaway universe, so they just have fun with like murdering all these like big timers that they never could do otherwise.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it's also kind of like, man, we just got Fantastic Four and X-Men in the MCU, and they're gone.
And they're fucking dead.
Gone.
Yeah, it's I genuinely like how crazy the third act gets in a way where like I can't even tell you. There's at one point in the movie where there's a dead ass Doctor Strange from like the beginning of the film from another multiverse that pops in because our heroes are after a character that can travel multiverses, right? And that's the whole point of the story is that there's a teenage girl that can travel multiverses, but she can't control it. And she knows the Stranges from a whole bunch of the other universes because Strange always eventually has to find her type shit in every single one. And there's a dead ass Doctor Strange in the beginning of the movie that essentially falls in. And they eventually go to the part where Steven has to like communicate his ass through dark arts through multiverses, and the only way he can do that is through his own persona, his own self, and he astral projects his ass into a zombie corpse Doctor Strange, and it's just like the hand comes out of the ground, the lightning strikes, like goddamn, dude, and then he no shit has like an absolute metric fuck ton of speaking lines with zombie mouth agape, like goddamn.
Half his face is like chopped, like ripped off.
Sam got his Darkman again.
And then they have all these souls of the damned, like trying to like curse him. But they're all like talking and taunting, and being very
they're being very Sam Raimi-ish, and he turns them into a cloak, the cloak of the damned. I'm like, this shit is fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
like wow,
it looks like a crazy, like the Bloodborne feather king.
It does,
okay, yep. And then like they do the thing where like they try to like trap Wanda with them, and they're like, all these like,
no.
And it comes out, get back in here.
It's like, this is a fucking movie. Yeah. This is definitely a movie.
So that's actually one of the best things about it is that like someone at Marvel didn't come in and say too much.
Yeah, and that's what's actually crazy to me, where it's just like, at some point, there wasn't some giant executive decision where like Feige or Disney execs or somebody was just like, okay, where's Sam? We need to have a talk. We need to go to lunch.
This is a little much. I don't know. Well, the thing is, he's a replacement director.
I know. Yeah, it was originally the original Doctor Strange guy.
So I was it the first?
It was. Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder if how whatever reason that fell apart, and they brought in this guy because there was actually a good few months or a chunk of time where they didn't have a director and they didn't know what to do. They got Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi said, he wasn't sure.
So did Sam write it or no?
No, he didn't. And
wow, so this movie's fucking crazy without Sam.
His agent or whoever told him hey, they're looking for a director, and they kind of your name was thrown into a hat. What do you think? And he's like, I don't know. I feel like I let too many comic fans down with Spider-Man 3. Wow. Would they accept me directing another comic book movie?
Yeah, I don't feel like this is a letdown at all. I feel like this is exactly what Doctor Strange should go.
When he starts doing Sam Raimi shit up the ass in Act 3, I'm just shocked Disney was like, yeah, roll with it.
Yeah, because if anything, Doctor Strange, his name is literally Doctor fucking Strange. The first movie delves into Buddhism quite a bit and spirituality and finding oneself and your existence.
And that's not really here.
And then it delves a bit into the dreamlike landscape of Inception. Right, it teeters on Buddhism, Inception, and that's what that movie is. Find this one's the mind, the self.
Yeah.
And in this movie, it completely drops that shit and really goes into Strange is in the title. We're going fucking there. We're going all the way there.
We're gonna be weird.
We're gonna be weird.
And they ripped fucking Shuma's eye out?
Yeah, that seemed really gruesome.
That was in the beginning. I mean, granted, it's a big, weird, ugly alien, but
Shuma Gorath is just a grunt.
Literally, you see him harpoon his eyeball and pull it out. And
the other Doctor Strange gets a Mortal Kombat pit fatality.
Yeah. He literally, people die horribly in this movie, dude.
Yeah, I was
characters die horribly. And I really liked, that whole thing they did where he comes across the other Strange, and that Strange, his thing is that he just kills other Doctor Stranges. Yeah. I'm fuck, this is cool, dude. There's some,
right,
where are we going now type shit.
Yeah, they're the great setup with the whole, when you're dreaming, you're actually inhabiting your own body in a different multiverse somewhere out there.
You're experiencing other multiverse versions.
So he's just every time you've dreamed about falling off or being pushed off a cliff, that was me.
That was me. And there's some great, that's such a Sam Raimi moment. Remember that time you died? That was me. It's Jesus, this is a Sam Raimi movie. And they had that one fucking moment where it's the one lady who's expert on multiverses as Doctor Strange is taking the dark arts. He's fucking man, just bring all the candles in. What am I going to do this shit? And he's and then his not wife chimes in. She's wait a minute, how are you going to do this? If you're not living in the other universe. And he's who said anything about being alive?
The corpse bursting out of the grave.
The fucking zombie grave of the old Strange. I was God damn, this movie's taking me on a journey. Sweet Jesus, dude. And that's what I appreciate about it, right? It is, and I've said this before, it's 2 steps around assist me levels of fucking kind of humor that we would have. Evil Dead is just teetering on and without even me seeing a full Evil Dead movie, that kind of very fun schlocky you're just gonna be here to have fun. We're not trying to make high art out of filmmaking like you were saying to me earlier. Yeah. Where Sam just wants to make crazy movies and do really fun shit.
He just wants to do what he wants to do, which is Army of Darkness style films.
Oh yeah.
So I said, this is the final act of this is just fucking Army of Darkness. Oh, yeah. That's all it is.
And I said, if you're Spider-Man or Captain Falcon, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You're not ready for this shit, bro.
You're not
gonna shoot some missiles.
You're not gonna astral project yourself into your own self.
I had that thought at the beginning where he goes to talk to her and she's what about all the other Avengers? And I'm why this is good. I was kind of getting annoyed with that in Spider-Man where I'm why aren't you calling other people? But then when they show what Wanda's capable of, are they gonna do nothing? What are the other Avengers gonna do? Not a goddamn thing.
Yeah, it's it's potentially one of the most powerful Marvel characters there is, and then now she's grieving and pissed. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
They didn't show it
and it shows what happens.
Yeah, it shows what happens.
The fucking Illuminati, who are the best of the best of the universe,
just fucking kills it.
Annihilated.
Captain Marvel did the best, but it's still they've been saying even Captain Marvel couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel was the closest to beating Thanos.
She's Superman too.
One-on-one. Yeah, she was Superman. And nope.
Yeah, I liked it. I think the more I talk about it, the more I'm falling in love with the movie. It's weird. The more I'm like reflecting on like how absolute batshit crazy it is. Yeah. I think I have learned to appreciate Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness a little bit more.
I definitely enjoyed it just because it's a film willing to go into the deep end of
the comic books.
Of the comic books. Yeah. I like that. I appreciate it.
And its execution was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like not incredible, I'd say, but
the only thing that, again, and Kenny said it, and I'm in agreement with it, the only thing I'm a little, like, the only part I feel like it didn't dive down deep enough.
Was the multiverses?
I would have liked to see more universes.
Yeah. And you know what?
Than generally the 3 we got.
Yeah,
and we were discussing this a little bit in the car ride back of how is this the end of like the multiversing? Right, because it seems like the Spider-Man stuff and what they're teetering on with his story. It's like, oh, maybe this is where like the multiverse conclusion kind of is. Like this is sort of the wrap up of all that shit. Like maybe because it does sort of wrap itself up kind of nicely in the end, even though it's not done.
It does.
It literally does because like it's this thing that could infect the entire multiverse. Well, she took care of it. She got into a bow.
I forgot about Loki.
Yeah,
because that's the whole fucking point of Loki.
I think
a government that governs multiverses.
The whole part of Loki, I think that's what that guy was. That's why he's like, I just want one timeline.
Yeah,
no multiverses. Then at the end of Loki, boom, tons of timelines. So that's what I think the whole Loki was about.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Are we going to see any Loki stuff here? We never did.
Never did. In one universe, you see the Time Authority statues.
Really?
And I literally think that's and I think that's what you'll see is like, that's how it starts because of Kang. Like Kang, we just knew like, holy shit, once you get multiverses, shit gets crazy, I'm going to create a sacred timeline with no other multiverses. And then like at the end of Loki, boom, the multiverse happens.
I think Loki could still be important.
Oh yeah.
But in this film, in particular.
Oh no, yeah, it gets sealed.
Doesn't really have anything to do with Loki.
And then even Maximilian said like, I think the big end game shit is going to be Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. Or Secret. It is Secret Wars.
It feels like
and that's how you're going to get like you'll get Professor
multiple
X.
universes all over the place.
You'll get Professor X again, and he's part of his universe with the X-Men have to square, and like maybe Captain, maybe Iron Man coming back. There's someone else.
Although they have this whole plot line about.
But they named our universe 616.
Yeah, they did. They have this whole thing about like if you go to a different universe, you risk an incursion.
Yeah.
And they kind of are. It's almost like Marvel's way of saying we're not going to be doing this too much.
Yeah, we're not going to be stepping in other universes for a long time, right? Like,
and it's also crazy that it's the huge plot point, obviously, of Spider-Man multiverse stuff, like with what's going on in Miles Morales stuff, and it's like they're making a 2-part movie series that has been delayed. Yeah, that is going to be happening again, where they really delve into that shit. It's like. Man.
And now it made me think, too, like, if Wanda does go gets what she wants, she's going to cause incursion after incursion. Yeah. So maybe that's why she was the threat, because, like, you go in there, incursion, the universe goes up to another universe, causes another incursion until the point of done.
Yeah.
She said it herself. Oh, there's infinite universes. If my kid gets space measles, I'll go to universe B where they have
a cure for space measles.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's like, she just won't stop. She's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Psycho mom. Psycho mom.
She really is. I actually kind of like that. I liked how there was that moment early in the film, too, where he's just like, well, what happens to their mom?
Yeah.
And she's like...
she hasn't thought about that yet because she's so selfish.
Yeah. Like you can see it kind of like... I like that. I like that stuff where it's kind of like... we get it. You want to be a mom, and that's a great thing, but holy shit, lady. Like,
and you know what it is? The other Strange figured it out. He's like, oh, fucking Stranges are, fucking up the universe, so I'm going to kill all the Stranges. So he's like, at first he's probably like, nah, but then he's like, you know what? Stranges are fucked up. I gotta go kill them.
Yeah, like the Illuminati's essentially acting as the TVA, of their respective universe.
That was... Strange. He was like
the evil Strange.
Oh yeah, Evil Strange. Yeah.
Evil Strange was like, dude.
That's what you mean.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Yeah, because he basically is just killing off all the other Strange, so this doesn't keep happening.
So, and I feel like the teaser for Doctor Strange 3 in the end, because I honestly had no idea who Clea was. I've seen her in Ultimate Marvel 3 modded in. I was like, I don't know who this character is, man. I thought it was like Psylocke at the start, but it's Charlize Theron, and she is popped into Current Strange's New York type shit, and she's asking for his help because he's fucked up. He's fucked up a bunch of stuff by doing
she tells us you want to fix these incursions.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna look up who Clea is.
Yeah.
And she's like,
that was great.
Daughter of Dormammu type shit.
Yeah,
a thing in space time, and then you see it's Dormammu. Yeah, and I didn't even know who she was.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, Dormammu's daughter. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the Dark Dimension.
Before
yeah,
you get railed by comments.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not that
niece
deep
or daughter or something.
Niece.
Yeah.
She's related.
She's the daughter of the prince of the Dark Dimension and the niece of Dormammu.
It seemed a little like.
I don't go that deep down.
To me, it seemed like a little hammy, but I guess the whole movie was hammy.
Oh yeah, it was hammy.
That thing.
Who's directing this?
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the street, and she just shows up, and she just cuts a hole. She's like, "You're gonna come help me out, buddy." He's like, opens up his third eye. Absolutely.
It does feel like fucking Mortal Kombat. It does feel a little like Mortal Kombat.
It is a very like Mortal Kombat ass ending.
Your soul is mine. I don't think so.
Dun, 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 dun. Like wow.
What's literally it spoiled like the thing. It's like it just like at the end of the movie, he's like and then the thing happens, and he's like, "Let's go." So I guess you could see that within that time.
I guess what they're
he controlled the power.
What are they hinting at? They're hinting at the fact that the
dark
arts,
the Dark Hado, whatever.
He got some bit of the Dark Hado, but he's cool.
It's still in there, you know. It's like it's not going away. You can't delete that file. He
got the Dark Hado.
Yeah, he read some of the Dark Hado, so
he didn't forget it.
Yeah, he didn't forget it. So that's still in there.
Yeah, and it just literally got a third fucking. Doctor Strange has a third eye now, which is some crazy shit. Yeah. Like, I'm like, this is wacky and weird, and it's strange. And you know what? It's appropriate. It's the way it should be. Doctor Strange should have an eye in the middle of his forehead because it's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that is how it should be at this point. We got what? Thorgnarok, Thork Rag, Love and Thornder. Is that the fourth Thor movie?
Yeah.
That's one of the only ones that got a fourth.
Yeah.
Most of them don't survive a third.
Yeah.
Especially in our Marvel 616.
Thor, Thunder Down Under.
They all got 3. Iron Man 3, Captain America 3.
What else do we have on the horizon? So Thor is the next one. That's like a couple months away, right?
Thor, Black Panther 2.
Black Panther 2. Which they did recast Black Panther, right? I think
we have no idea.
We really have no idea.
Isn't that recently announced?
They're keeping that way under
They said they didn't really want to, so that's really.
So we really don't know what the hell they're doing with Wakanda Forever.
I think the director was like, "We're not recasting him," and then some of the family member
wanted them to do it.
Was like Chadwick Boseman was like he'd be okay with it.
Of course, you know, and like that's a whole can of worms or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough thing to try to determine either way to say how do you handle that. I mean, it would be interesting to see how they handle it, but like part of me is almost kind of like, man, I really, really like the first Black Panther movie. I almost felt like maybe you should just call it at that. You know, maybe.
But he's too much of a like.
That's true.
They gotta have him.
That's true. I mean, it's like you don't want to like.
Money is very nice.
Yeah, and Blade is getting introduced, man. Like, man, having Blade and Black Panther.
Fight Morbius?
Yeah, we don't know where the fuck Blade is. There's still no actual trailer for Blade.
Yeah, no trailer, but you do hear his voice. In that movie.
Oh, the last thing we have to talk about, the one thing we haven't talked about that we saw during this movie, that's actually at the beginning of the movie, before the movie.
Yes.
The Avatar trailer. Goddamn Avatar trailer. And Simmons had the greatest anecdote for this. It's like, you watch that fucking trailer and you're like, Simmons is like, I want to go see this at the most expensive fucking theater.
Yep.
And I'm like, yes, if you're not spending $100 per ticket, that is not the optimal Avatar experience.
That's right.
Like,
you know,
we have to go
it's not
40 shit.
Like, it's not because of the first one was just like an amazing film.
I like Avatar. I'll stand that.
Yeah, I like it, but like when you see it in the theater and you see it in 3D,
you're going to a new world.
You're going to a new world.
Yeah,
it is really
amazing.
fucking cool.
And then part 2 being all in this,
all about the ocean,
this beautiful coastal ocean,
like
all this coral
dude.
reef and like insane looking tide pools and shit. I'm just like, fuck, god damn it!
Everything about this is what Simmons loves.
This is what I want.
This is really called
what I want.
Avatar beaches.
Plain water.
Yeah, right. And the movie came out so long ago. Like, I don't care about Avatar. You're like, damn, that looks cool.
Yeah,
okay,
it's like suddenly you remember, like, wow, yeah, this is pretty fucking dope. I can't goddamn wait for this movie. Is that coming out December?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then on September 23rd, they're re-releasing the first movie, big 3D.
He's like, you know
So
what?
that's like
Disney's like, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares if Avengers is not number one anymore? We're gonna bury it some more.
I wonder who cares who wins. They all
Disney wins. Mickey wins.
I don't know if
Disney wins either way.
I don't know if I need to go see Avatar 1 again in theaters. I've seen it so many times in like 3D. I've seen it so many times in
movies I just want to see again in theaters.
I don't know. I'd be down.
Mad Max.
I'm not gonna go out of my way, but
I'm not gonna go out of my way. Yeah.
If it's like a testing bed for what would be potentially the new technology, the new smell-o-vision that they have.
Because if you put like a new trailer on the Avatar 1 re-release,
and you see it in 3D,
I'll
go see it.
I'm like,
100%.
yeah, let's go do this.
100%. I'll go see it if they do that.
Yeah, because and I love how that trailer, like I said, is like it's like watching Discovery Earth, but for like an alien planet. An alien planet.
Yeah.
It's like this time life documentary of Earth and
like whale and shit. Imagine seeing that shit in 3D. Like you're in the water and the whale.
The thing that got me was when you see the characters like going under the water and like scuba diving, but they don't, for some reason they don't need to worry about scuba-ing, and they're just going down and like gathering stuff and like all this stuff under the water. I'm like, Jesus, this in 3D is going to look really fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, someone's just going to be playing like aquatic ambience in his ear and shit. So anyway, yeah, I'm super excited. As someone that like, I really liked Avatar when it came out. It had been so many years since I see it. I saw it again like 5 years later. Now it kept my interest still. I saw it on the plane and I was like, yeah, this movie blew time by really fast. I actually still like it.
Okay, then yeah, for sure.
And then now I'm actually like fully on board. Like, Jim, take me to another fucking planet again.
Yeah.
I want to become a blue person. I want to go to Disney World. I want to ride the ride.
That ride, fucking
that
hell.
ride will fucking
that ride. Like, you get off and you're like, fuck, man, I'm here, bro. I'm on Earth.
I'm on Earth.
Yes.
I'm
Like,
fuck. This sucks.
If the goal at the end of the Avatar ride, Avatar Flight of Passage in Disney World, is to make you get off the ride and be like, we're back.
Yeah, this sucks.
Like, being
like, you know what? I'm on the ride. I'm thinking like, I want to jump off the ride. You know?
Yes,
like, go there. Right? I'm on the ride. Like,
it
I just want to jump off.
Emotions.
Yeah, like I want to just jump off and be in there.
So yeah, like when I saw the concept art leak and then this trailer, I even saw the camp footage a few days ago, and then this. Yeah, we gotta go see this.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Whatever the story is, whatever. Get over your blue thing. I just want to see this in 3D and like live this thing and like. I want to fly on a banshee.
Are we gonna do it
that
40X?
comes out of the water and starts flying.
I want to do tour de force.
Are we gonna do 40X?
Yeah.
Like 40X and like
the moving
crazy
chairs?
cinema, the moving chairs that like spray you?
No, I want to spend at least $100 per ticket. Like, I need the maximum. I need like VR glasses. I need a maximum experience.
40X has smells, wind,
one time,
like water.
I want all the smell-o-vision, all the water, like all the splash damage. Like I want there to be mud.
Yeah, one time when we saw Avatar, we got not glass, we got goggles.
Yes, they have IMAX goggles.
IMAX goggles.
And that 3D was incredible.
It was like yellow and purple instead of whatever. Like if you held it way up to a light.
Yeah.
And we put it like covers
iridescent.
your whole goddamn head like a scuba mask. And it was just kind of like all the way.
That shit had like VR levels of depth.
Yes. So that 3D on that screen on that IMAX was like
a decade ago. 12 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the best 3D I'd ever seen in a theater.
Yeah. There's those moments where it's like it gets all like the nighttime comes and all like the phosphorescent plants and all that kind of shit like come to life, and it's like you're just watching them walk around this environment as like Jim is like, here, look at this shit. And you're just like, God damn, that's back there. Oh, this is really up in my field. Wow, this is fucking damn, I'm here. Like, shit, I am here, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And he starts smacking the things.
Yeah, it feels like you could.
Exactly what I would have done.
That's exactly what you would have done.
I remember he's walking by and like when he hits one of the bioluminescence turns on, I'm like, oh, I'd fucking stop him. Then he literally in the movie, boom, 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 he starts smacking. I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'm here.
That's probably it. Suddenly became my most anticipated movie of 2022. Is Jim Cameron Take Me on a Ride.
Take Me on a Ride.
So
anyway, go
see Doctor Strange. It's good.
Yes.
It's good and it's crazy. Don't bring your kids.